Lion's Den, powered by KCB Bank. Food waste is a global problem. Jacqueline and Frederick are pitching a solution they hope will get the lions chopping.
Personally, I feel excited, though a bit nervous. It's natural, it's human.
My expectation is that we will get the funding and mentorship.
Greetings, lionesses and lions. This is Supplies Link Onions Farm. My name is Jacqueline Otieno. I'm a farmer and a co-founder to the company, and we are located in Nyeri.
Hello, lions and lionesses. My name is Frederick Odhiambo. I am a founder of Supplies Link Onion Farm, and I'm also a farmer. Our business seeks to transform the onion bulb by drying and chopping. Our company is registered in Kenya and in Rwanda. Okay,
now lionesses and lions, we are here. We're asking for mentorship as well as 1.4 million Kenyan shillings for 25% equity stake. The first thing that we'd love to achieve is to get processing and packaging equipment for our products, construct storage facilities, and thirdly, we would also love to get a KCB certificate to enable us to get a bigger market share. And lastly, we would love to train our farmers on contract farming as well as good agricultural practices. Thank you.
Supplies Link have come in with a long list of needs for their business. The task ahead is to prove to the lions that they are not too early to appear in the den.
Can I just understand the product again a little bit better? You said you were chopping and frying.
No,
chopping
and drying.
Chopping and drying.
Yes, chopping and drying.
Chopping and frying. Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's a restaurant.
That's when he's hungry.
So it's chopping and drying, yeah.
Yes.
And then preserving for, with a longer shelf life for?
Once we dry, then that already increases the shelf life.
So you sun dry?
Yeah,
Yes.
at the moment, because we don't have the right equipment, the dryer.
What is the yield that you expect, like if you plant a kilo of onions?
Dry onions that you get from a kilo of onions. Our packaging, so far, we package 3/4 of a kilo.
Who else is in this space?
We had pitched this around 2018, and we saw Kenya Defence Forces already doing the packing of this in 170 grams.
A lot of the people that come in dry products is products that go bad quickly. But onions can stay on the shelf for a month even, and they'll be fine. To a hotel, I see that, but where would I buy a can of processed onions?
It reduces your meal on preparation time because you'll just come and cook.
Okay, and then what's the cost
Yes.
of a kg of onions just as onion bulbs, and what's the cost of a kg of dried onions?
In wholesale price, we normally sell them at 60 shillings, but now when they are dried, we multiply it by two, so it will
I'm
cost
buying
120.
less onions for more money so that I don't have to kata it.
And because it is durable, it can stay for longer.
How long, what's the shelf life of dried onions?
12 months.
Okay.
And for this, after 2 months, they rot.
What's the barrier to entry?
The barrier to entry is maybe lack of innovation, because the innovations that we have and the skills that we have, because there are concerns like for food, for the hygiene. Okay, so people would decide that this thing we might not prepare it well. So when we visited KCB is when we realized many people are avoiding it because of the process.
So what does your packaging look like at the moment?
It's in tins, plastic tins.
Olive Kashara has questioned the viability and pricing of the product. Chris Sinanu thinks differently.
Forget the fact that Olive doesn't know the value to create. I think she doesn't cook that much, so she doesn't know the value can create. Anybody who cooks knows what pre-chopped onions, the value it does in a pre-prep. I think you can get a better lion than myself to get involved. I don't see the value I'll be adding genuinely to your business, so I'm out.
Thank you so much.
So contrary to what Chris said over there, I cook a lot, and I like the process of cooking, and I like the process of cutting my onions and cutting my hohos, and I think that's and then that's why I said unless it's a restaurant, when you have guests is when you need someone to help you cut. So I personally don't see the value in the product, so I'm out.
Thank you.
So for some of us who went to school in the 90s, I think you have probably, if you can think in a clever way, the high school market. There's something we used to call mkarango. Okay.
Oh,
It was a bit. Now, I think probably if you go that direction a bit and make it a brand on its own, maybe. You guys also going to Nyeri, setting up a place there. It's pretty much commendable. But that said, I'm out.
Thank you.
I can't see the barriers to entry. So you might do really well, okay? And you might create a product, it might start selling really well, but what stops competition coming in, you know, a bit of innovation, maybe lowering the cost? So I see if it does well, it'll become very competitive. But I think it's good. I mean, you've got the early advantage. You should, you know, try and move forward as quickly as you can. But for those reasons, I'm out.
Thank you.
The possibility of a deal seems to be slowly wilting away. Is there a lion ready to take this business on?
I actually see where you're trying to go with this. I'm a farmer. I actually grew onions this last season. It was my first time to grow onions. I made a mess of it. And I know the challenge of trying to sell onions when you don't have the shelf life. Because whereas a consumer is talking about 12 onions, when you have 8 tons of onions, you have a problem, you know. So for me, I think this would be a very good one, but you need to really think about scaling it much larger. From an investment perspective, I'm out. I would prefer to actually just sell to you my onions and then you do the rest.
Thank you, we appreciate.
With agripreneur Joanne Mwangi bowing out, unfortunately, Jacqueline and Frederick leave without a deal.
We'll continue with our business, despite the fact that we didn't get an investment, but we've learned a lot from them.
I see it from the farmer point of view.
From the farmer
where
point of view,
onions
yes.
are going bad, what do I do with it? But from a consumer point of view,
Lion's Den, powered by KCB Bank.